So this is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by undefeated super-welterweight Caoimhin Agyarko. Caoimhin, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. All good. Just out of the gym there, so yeah, taking over. But yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Glad to hear it. So you're just at the gym. Does that mean you're in Liverpool at the moment? You're not back home?
No, I am. I'm back home. Unfortunately, I yeah, no, I'm still out injured at the moment. I've not stopped training since I had to pull out of my last fight. Um, but I'm just doing what can be done at the moment. I'm not back punching with both hands, unfortunately, and in 2 weeks' time I'll be getting surgery on my hand, so I'm going to be out for a little while longer yet.
So the prognosis originally, has it changed from what you expected? Did you expect to be back kind of punching by now?
um, I didn't expect to be punching by now, but I did expect to be well under the way with recovery, and I wanted surgery before Christmas. Unfortunately, um, there was a bit of messing about with seeing hand specialists, and then I had to fly to Manchester and see a hand specialist. So, yeah, it's kind of taken a long process to get to where I am now. But listen, we have surgery booked in. I know the recovery scale, and yeah, I hope to be out maybe May June time, and back with no injuries, and back in full swing of things.
I suppose the positive side, if there is one, is that this has happened now quite early in your career while you're still quite young. You can afford to take some time off, whereas maybe once you're in the huge fights, it'll be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I've got through 12 fights with fighting with sore hands, and this is the right time to get them sorted now. While listen, I had a bit of momentum in 2022, world ranked, and I wanted to push on, but this has slowed down the process a tiny bit. But it's necessary to get this sorted now so that I don't have problems later on in my career, and I can't afford to kind of be in big fight with sore hands. So I need to get this issue sorted now so that I can just progress and move on with my career.
And before the hand injury recurred, how much time have you been able to spend with your trainer, Joe McNally? Because you joined him not too long ago. Have you guys been able to spend much time together so far?
I mean, we had a full camp together. I think
Mm.
12 weeks together before the Dobson fight fell through. Um, Less than 12 weeks is long enough, but not overly long when you're getting to know somebody, getting to know a new style and whatever else. But with Joe, we clicked straight away, and that's why I made the decision to train up in Liverpool. His style suits mine. He's a great coach. He's a great man. Him and Declan both care for their fighters, like they're their own kids. Do you know what I mean? They're not. They're more than just coaches. They're friends. They're, do you know what I mean? They're guardians. They look after their fighters. They have their fighters' best interest, and I seen that whenever it wasn't my decision to pull out of the Dublin fight. It was actually Joe's, who had come down to my apartment on a Tuesday night after the gym, and had said to me, "Listen, um, we haven't we haven't been able to train properly throughout this camp. We've had to miss sparring sessions. We haven't been able to hit the pads and whatever else." And he gave me a whole rundown on the reasons why I shouldn't fight, and it just made me respect him as a man so much more. Do you know what I mean? Because he, I know a lot of coaches would have just said, would have probably said nothing and let you get through it and fought, and whether you would have won or lost, it's a payday for them. And so yeah, that wasn't something that Joe wanted. He didn't care. His main thing for not fighting is he didn't want me to go out and put on a bad performance regardless. He says, I think a 50% Caoimhin Agyarko beats Peter Dobson, but I don't want you going out. Your hand goes in the first round or the second round. You scrape through the fight, and then everyone's doubting you and what you can really do whenever you should have blew this kid away. So yeah, listen, I love training in Liverpool. It's unbelievable. I feel like a kid back at school again. I learn every day with Joe. We text every day while I'm back home. He's making sure I'm still in the gym and stuff like that. So yeah, it was the correct move and change for me.
And with that in mind, we'll talk about the Eubank Smith fight in a minute in more detail. But how proud are you of Joe specifically at the end of the fight and the way he handled the, Eubank not really being quite aware of his surroundings and try and get the fight to carry on when it was already said and done. And Joe was the one who stepped in and kind of put an arm around Eubank.
It just shows Joe as a man, as a person. It shows that he's not selfish. Any other coach would have, in the moment, probably would have celebrated with Liam. Yes, it's probably Liam's biggest win to date, but as a coach, it's definitely Joe's biggest win to date. Do you know what I mean? And as a team, he would have probably liked to have celebrated in that moment. But it just shows Joe as a person, as a man. He cared for the opponent at that stage. He saved, because you think about it, if Eubank goes to throw a punch at Smith's got to defend himself, even though the fight's over. So he's got to defend himself and protect himself. His first natural instinct is probably to retaliate and throw back. As you could see, that if you watch it back, kind of, I think Liam pushes Paul Smith, his brother, off him because he thinks Eubank's going to hit him. But obviously Joe then jumps in. So listen, it shows what kind of man Joe is, and fair play to him for stepping in and saving Eubank and when it was needed and not celebrating.
Now, you predicted Liam would win. I saw your interview with, I think it was Andy Purewell at IAD Boxing, where you said you thought he'd come on strong down the stretch and secure a points victory. I think that's what anyone who was backing Smith probably thought it was going to be either points or a late stoppage. How surprised were you about the way in which the fight did end and how early it finished?
Very surprised. Listen, I know how good Liam is. Everybody knows how good Liam is, and I think his boxing ability isn't credited enough. He's an unbelievable boxer. I see him sparring, and he's a crafty fighter. Little things he sets up. You think because he's got such a high guard that he's in distance, and he's not. I felt like he was making Eubank miss a lot with his jabs. But yeah, I predicted that Smith would win. I thought he would either come on strong and get him out of there late because of the recent performances I've seen from Eubank. He's kind of had a good first 6-7 rounds and then he's faded. But no one predicted that. Listen, Liam Smith himself didn't predict him to stop Chris Eubank within 4 rounds. There's no lie that Eubank has a great chin and he's never been dropped or stopped before. So fair play to Liam because he had him hurt and he didn't let him go. Do you know what I mean? He caught him with a great uppercut. And I'm over the moon for him. Do you know what I mean? It's a great win for him. It's a great win for the Smith family and for the Rotundo Gym and Joe and Dak as coaches.
How were you feeling while you were watching it unfold? Were you kind of jumping off the sofa?
Yeah, I was happy for my teammates. You know what I mean? It's a massive win for him because it's one of them ones. If Eubank beats Smith, where did Liam go after that? Do you know what I mean? I know he moved up to 160, but this opens so many doors for him now. Do you know what I mean? He can maybe try and go down a route of 160 and become a 2-weight world champion. And I think I think after that performance, it's definitely achievable. I think he can definitely become a 2-weight world champion. Does he chase someone at 154 and become a two-time world champion at light middleweight? I don't know, but I was so happy for him. I know how hard he's trained and how much he's sacrificed over the last, 12 weeks being in camp over Christmas. I think his little girl's birthday as well wasn't too long ago, so he's had to sacrifice a lot. And listen, that's just what it is as a fighter. But his sacrifice paid off, and he got a brilliant win.
And you revealed to Andy McCann at IFL that Eubank Jr. had actually asked you for sparring in the build-up to this fight. Was he trying to be funny, or was he not aware that you were training in the same gym as Liam?
You know what? So someone from Wasserman, their matchmaker, I believe so, messaged me on Instagram. And I screenshotted it and I sent it in our group chat and whatever else. But I actually didn't open the message because it was a requested message. So I didn't open it. He didn't know that I'd read it. He didn't know I'd read it, but I think I went on to check later, I think a couple of weeks later, and I think he deleted the message because they must have clicked on that I train with Liam, and they kind of probably felt a bit silly. But yeah, no, listen, it was probably just a genuine mistake that they didn't know that, because Eubanks asked me for sparring before, and they probably didn't know that I trained with Liam, but it was quite funny that they had asked me, Liam's training partner, for sparring.
What do you think of Eubank's future now? I mean, he handled himself pretty well during fight week and after the fight. You know, his first stoppage defeat, he took that kind of in his stride. I don't know how well adjusted he was to what was going on at that point, but it seems to have, been quite humble in defeat, which might surprise some people. Should he take the rematch? There is a rematch clause, apparently.
I don't believe he should take the rematch. I believe he should go away, have a nice holiday, take some time away from boxing, regroup, assess what the next move as a team is. But I think he definitely needs a break. If you think, listen, take away nothing from Liam's performance, because he went out there and he done a job on Chris Eubank, right? But you think about Eubank, all the stuff with Conor Ben, all the stuff he's going through with his dad losing his brother and whatnot. But him getting down to 156 or 157, whatever it was, that takes a lot out of your body. Do you know what I mean? Dieting for all that long and then going straight back into another camp. He's probably had no time to deload and rest and recoup after the Conor Ben situation. He's went straight back into another camp. So essentially, he's been in camp for months and months. Do you know what I mean? So I think he needs a nice break. I don't think he should take the rematch. I would like to see him get a win, because we don't know how this will affect him mentally. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely don't think the rematch is good for him. Because I think if not the same outcome, Smith will beat him on points. I just think the superior boxer is Smith. He can fight, he can box, and he showed that he carries power as well, up to 160. So I think Eubank should just take a break and then come back maybe in 4 or 5 months and fight again, but not Liam Smith.
It's interesting because you said about how he'll take the defeat mentally. When he's been defeated in the past, he's always had something to kind of hang on to. You know, Saunders' fight was close early in their careers. George Groves was up at 168, a much bigger man. But in this one, on paper, he had all the advantages going in.
Yeah, I mean, you look from the outside, he had all the advantages. He's the bigger man. He was the A side and everything. But listen, boxing's a funny sport, and things don't always plan out the way you want them to. But I think maybe going back up to 168 might be a good move for him, because his most notable wins are probably at 168. His biggest, do you know what I mean? Is kind of, he's performed probably better at 168 as well. So he should probably go back up the super middle and give it a go at that weight. I don't know how well he does the weight. I mean, he did look tight. I think he posted a photo on his social media platform the day they had the weigh-in, and he looked tight at the weight. But that could just be from holding on to the weight for so long. In terms of he's been in camp for so long. So listen, don't be fooled by all these KFCs and 50% Chris Eubank Jr. That was 100% Chris Eubank Jr. If you know anything from Eubank and his family and his dad, that they don't cut corners. He's always in the gym. He gives it his all, and he's always in shape. So that was 100% Eubank, and that's probably why he should move up to 160, or at least let his body heal, because he's probably been in camp for a very long time.
And then bringing it back to you, obviously you've got this unplanned hiatus, if you like, but do the ambitions remain the same, getting to that world scene at 154?
Without doubt. I didn't move down to 154 just to win a international title to move back up. I want to take over this division, and I want to take over very, very soon. I want to get this hand injury out of the way, and then I want big fights. I want to be out in May, June time in a little warm up, because I haven't fought since July. Maybe get a little warm up fight, and then I want straight in the big fights. I want a European title fight before the end of the year, and then I'm ready to challenge the top 10 in the world, or whoever's about. You know what I mean? There is a lot of names. You've got Josh Kelly, Troy. I'm not sure if Troy Williamson's moving up in weight. But listen, if a European title's on the line against one of them, I'd take it. It's got to be something's going to mean something. But I definitely want to conquer this division before moving up to 160. I do feel like I will end up at 160 at some stage. I don't think I'll hold on to 154 for a very long time, but I definitely think there'll be enough time to conquer the weight in terms of winning a world title, or maybe unified world champion at 154, and then I'll move up and become a 2-weight world champion.
And presumably you'd love to be on the much talked about show at Croke Park, which we believe will end up being Katie Taylor rematch with Amanda Serrano. Nothing confirmed yet, but everyone's talking as if it's going to happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Croke will happen. I've heard there is still a lot of things to be settled on getting Croke Park, but Katie will be brought back home, I've been told. So whether it's Croke Park or whether it's somewhere else, I definitely want on that card. It's a card that I cannot miss. Whether I've got no hands, I will be there fighting no matter what. But yeah, it's a massive card. Katie Taylor deserves it. She deserves Croke Park. I don't think anywhere else in Ireland could stage a massive fight like that. Croke's 83,000 people, and someone like Katie Taylor deserves a fight like that, a historic fight, historic night for Irish boxing, and what she's achieved in boxing, it's no less than she deserves.
How excited are you about the prospect of big time boxing coming back south of the border?
Oh, massively. Do you know what I mean? Listen, Dublin and down south have some unbelievable fighters, and from now and the past, you know what I mean. And you've got the likes of Thomas Carthy, you've got Gary Cully, you've got Paddy Donovan. There's a lot of great talent coming through. So if Katie gets this mega fight back home, it gives us the platform to go out and perform on a massive show, and in some way it'll be the passing of the torch for one of us young Irish fighters to take over and show that we can take the responsibility and headlining big shows back home in Belfast or back in Dublin and in Ireland, wherever it may be.
Great stuff. Caoimhin, really, really appreciate it. I hope you're back punching as soon as is humanly possible. I'm sure it won't be that long. You're not the type of guy to sit on the shelf any longer than you have to. So yeah, fingers crossed, no pun intended. And yeah, hopefully see you back on the scene very soon.
Perfect. Thank you, Danny.